Imagine spending years trying to invent the world's strongest glue, only to end up with something that barely sticks to a piece of paper. Most people would call that a career-ending disaster. But for one scientist at 3M, that disaster became the foundation of a multi-billion-dollar empire. Today on the Object Almanac, we are uncovering the incredible secret history of the Post-it note, the global office essential that was born from a laboratory failure. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the things we use every day are rarely the result of a perfect plan. Let's dive into the history of the glue that failed upwards. Our story begins in 1968. Dr. Spencer Silver, a chemist at 3M, was working in a lab with a very specific goal: create a super strong adhesive for the aerospace industry. He wanted a glue so powerful it could hold an airplane together, but during his experiments, he stumbled upon something strange. He created microspheres, tiny, resilient bubbles of adhesive that were sticky but not permanent. To Dr. Silver and his supervisors at 3M, this was a complete failure. It was a low-tack adhesive. You could stick it to something, peel it off, and it would leave no residue. But it certainly wouldn't hold a plane together. For 5 long years, Dr. Silver promoted his solution without a problem to anyone who would listen, but nobody saw the value in a glue that didn't actually stay stuck. The breakthrough didn't happen in a lab, it happened in a church. Another 3M scientist, Art Fry, was a member of his local choir. Every Sunday, he faced the same frustrating problem. His paper bookmarks kept falling out of his hymnal, causing him to lose his place during the service. He needed a bookmark that would stay put but wouldn't tear the thin pages of the book. Suddenly, he remembered Dr. Silver's failed adhesive. He realized that if he coated his bookmarks with those tiny microspheres, he'd have the perfect solution. He returned to the lab, developed the first prototype, and the sticky note was born. It wasn't just a bookmark, it was a whole new way to communicate. Ever wonder why the classic Post-it note is that specific shade of yellow? You might think it was a calculated move by marketing geniuses to grab your attention, but like the glue itself, the color was a total accident. When the team was ready to run their first large-scale tests, they needed scrap paper. It just so happened that the lab next door had a large supply of scrap yellow paper they weren't using. They grabbed it because it was free and convenient. The color became so associated with the product during testing that 3M decided to keep it. That accidental yellow is now one of the most recognizable colors in the world. Launching the Post, it wasn't an instant success. When it first hit shelves in 1977, consumers were confused. Why pay for sticky paper when you could just use a paperclip? 3M realized they had to show, not tell. They launched the Boise Blitz, handing out massive amounts of free samples to office workers in Boise, Idaho. The results were staggering. 90% of those who tried them said they would buy them. By 1980, Post-it notes were released nationwide. Today, 3M produces more than 50 billion Post-it notes a year. A product that was once considered a scientific failure is now a multi-billion-dollar staple of human organization. The history of the Post-it note reminds us that sometimes our biggest mistakes are just successes, waiting for the right perspective. If you loved this deep dive into the secret life of ordinary objects, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the Object Almanac for your daily documentary-style insights. Before you go, tell me in the comments, what's the weirdest thing you've ever used a Post-it note for? Next time, we're exploring the accidental invention of the Slinky. Thanks for watching. Remember, there's a story behind everything you touch. We'll see you in the next entry of the Almanac.